Welcome to Grind and Shine, where every episode is a journey into the world of coffee people, one cup at a time. Every week, we sit down with passionate coffee shop owners, baristas, and industry experts to uncover the stories and experiences that make coffee culture so vibrant. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and join us today for this episode. Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you're listening to this in the morning, grabbing a cup of coffee and then feeling cozy and things, right? Okay, welcome to Grind and Shine, launch episode, also like a trailer kind of thing. I'm your host and your friend Isabel Ng. Welcome, and this series of podcasts is gonna be a really fun one, really interesting, as you may have heard from the intro with my really gentle voice, right? This podcast is dedicated to coffee professionals, coffee lovers like you and me, and then industry experts, owners, baristas, sharing their journey and experiences from day one. So today I am going to share a bit about myself, who am I, and why I'm doing this. Just a quick intro, then I will dive a bit deeper into my own journey. In short, I was born and raised in Hong Kong. I'm a Hong Konger. I studied journalism and communication in university. After that, I got into the tech startup space, like building products and things. And then I got into what we call innovation consulting. I was in marketing and events for quite a bit as well. So I have been moving between cities in the past 3 years. I was always in Hong Kong, then I moved to London to work for 2 years. And then after that, I moved to Singapore. That's why I'm here now for a year already. But before all of this, right, let's take the time travel machine and go back to the uni times. Like, how did I pick up this hobby of like podcast and why I'm doing this? So in 2016, I was studying journalism and communications in Hong Kong. It was always a dream to be a radio host or a news anchor since I was a kid. Because the radio hosts in Hong Kong are very famous and a lot of people listen to the radio. They're like super funny, humorous, and a lot of insights, jokes, etc. And it looks cool to be a news anchor, have like nice makeup, nice clothes, speaking in front of the TV, parents be proud. But after some internships in uni, I realized that was not the thing for me to be a journalist. But I got into the radio committee. That's how I started to do podcasts. A lot of different podcasts per year. So that's why I'm doing this. Like, I'm very familiar with everything. But things change a lot. Like, just a sidetrack. There's a lot of AI tools now to edit videos. So now it's like super easy. That's why I understand why there are a lot of like content creators popping in and out in the almost every industry, right? So back to my story. One thing that I really loved about studying journalism is that we got to interview people, write our own article, and put on the magazine. So we got to choose like what interesting people we want to interview. I remember interviewing the best mime actors in Hong Kong. So mime as in like the theater mime, drama theaters with no sound at all, like just gestures and actions and things. They're the best. Like, they tour around the globe and then joining different competitions. Of course, the interview was not in silence. We were actually talking, right? And then how we did the interviews back then, super interesting. We had like a very cheap video recorder on the side, and then the interviews would be around 2 to 3 hours. We have a pile of like question banks. After the 3-hour interview, we would go straight back to the university, sitting in front of the computer, and then type the whole transcript out. So that may take 5 to 6 hours. Back then, there's no AI tools. So there's no like machine learnings and things that can just listen and then do the whole transcript. We have to type every word ourselves manually. That was not it. We had to pick the points from the article and then combine the points, add a heading, a really nice article of like 800, 1,000 words. That is like looking good to go. And then I did another interview with my sister, who is actually the best bartender in Hong Kong. She was like winning a lot of competitions and she's super famous, and then she traveled around the world to do bartending guest shifts for different bars. Her journey was super fascinating, how she started her bartending journey, making really simple cocktails, to later on joining all the competitions. And I was there supporting every single one, and then help taking videos, doing the younger sister jobs. So that was very interesting, and I learned the skill sets of doing interviews. And then I started to like do this to my friends, especially new friends. I asked a lot of questions, and they were like, "Why are you asking so many questions?" And I was like, "Oh, sorry, like it was a habit from before that. I thought I was interviewing someone, but actually I was not." So that was uni. I realized I was not interested in journalism anymore. I only like to write and interview people. That's when I discovered something called digital marketing. Basically doing content creation, writing blogs, doing social media, really fun stuff. And I was like joining startups of less than 5 people, doing a bit of everything. Now I was doing this in Singapore, I was doing it in Hong Kong for like internships and things, and I really loved it. Then I was like, okay, I'm sort of like a marketing material. I know what I'm doing. People seem very happy. The bosses are very happy. So I sort of continue doing that. And then I joined bigger companies like innovation consultancies, startup studios, helping connect very small companies with really cool technologies to corporations, governments who have the resources to support these startups or use their technologies as a customer. I quite enjoy doing that. I got to travel around hosting events. That's when I picked up event management, hosting small events of 30, 50 people to like really big scale conference events of hundreds, thousands of people. And I loved it. Like the energy was booming. I was in Lisbon, I was in Madrid, I was in Helsinki, because I was based in London, so I got to go to different European cities. It was exhausting running around talking to people, but at the same time very rewarding when I saw the real impact that I made for people, really small companies getting the funding from corporations, from government. That was very rewarding to me. And this April, I decided to leave my pretty stable life because I sort of like got a wake-up call and saying that, okay, Isabel, you should start doing your thing. I mean, I didn't only have this wake up call now, but like in the last 6 months, always have like a voice saying that, okay, look, like you have passion, you have the energy. Sorry. Passion, more energy, more energy. And you have the ability to build your own business. You have the ability to chase your passion. You know you can, so why aren't you doing that? And I was like, yeah, I should. Then I left my job and I began to ideate which path I would like to follow. I haven't told any of my friends about, the background story, so if like you're my friend, you can sort of know how this all happened. The wake-up call happened when I was in Melbourne in March. I had a really relaxing and chill holiday with my boyfriend for 10 days. Okay, to be honest, we were there for Formula 1. Yeah, super irrelevant. Formula 1 was very nice, by the way. And the general admission ticket was good enough for us. Over the course of the 10 days, I naturally found myself visiting different coffee shops. A good friend from Hong Kong, Sabrina, she was a really talented barista in Hong Kong. She introduced a few coffee shops to me in Melbourne, one being Duke's Coffee Roaster. Wow, epic, super nice. If you don't know this roasters from before, it is an Australian wholesale organic specialty coffee roasting company based in Melbourne, Victoria, and Perth. They roast beans daily and they have been around for 10 years already. But the beans are so nice. The coffee shop, like, it's just a very small one and the ambience was perfect. We were just chilling there, doing our own thing, reading. I was like drawing something and thinking about life, and we were there for like 3 to 4 hours. Another one that I really like is 7 Seats. They have been around since 2007, and the name came from the history of the legend Baba Budan, who brought 7 seats of coffee from Saudi Arabia to India in the 17th century. That's why they could be able to source beans from all over the world now. That's how the name was from. I was really impressed with the coffee industry in Australia. Just a fun fact. Guess how many coffee roasters are in Australia as of March this year? The answer is 923 coffee roasters. Coffee is not just a drink or an energy booster in Australia. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of living. In Australia, you see that people just walk into a coffee shop and they could stay in the coffee shop for the whole day. That's the life. Same for the people serving coffee. They can roast beans, they can serve coffee. This is what they're passionate about. They can do this for their whole life. That was the time when I realized that, wow, this could be the life that I'm living in. Getting into the coffee industry, understanding the industry, because I have the passion for coffee. It would be an ideal life if one day I could set up my own coffee shop where I could share the love of coffee, the love of bread, nice food with the people I love. That would be the ultimate goal. This trip to Melbourne changed my perspective on life. At least I realized that I could do something to inspire other people, to do something. My vision is to bring this podcast beyond Singapore, first to my home, Hong Kong, and to cities like Melbourne, London, in which actually there are already podcasts about coffees in these places. There are so many brave entrepreneurs out there starting their own businesses, taking the first leap, continue working so hard in the industry. A lot of them start as a barista. There are so many talented baristas out there trying to master the techniques of brewing coffees. I feel like there are so many stories waiting to be told, and if these stories can inspire other people, why isn't anyone doing this? This is why I set up this podcast, to share the power and the love of these coffee stories. And that's it for today. I hope you had fun listening to my own journey and why I'm doing this. We'll be releasing episodes once a week starting from early summer on Spotify and YouTube. We have some really fascinating speakers lined up, so please follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram at Grind and Shine Podcast. What's your favorite coffee shop in Singapore? Is there anyone you would like us to interview? Let us know by sending us a DM on Instagram. We'll aim to get them on this podcast. See you very soon. It was very lovely. Bye!